If you're trying to grow bigger biceps, then the odds are against you. And I say this from personal experience. I did all the common bicep workouts that you're probably doing, but they just wouldn't grow. It wasn't until I did some research and I learned of some strategies that my biceps finally began growing after all these years. I want you guys to avoid the same mistakes I made. And what does that mean? We're going to build you the perfect bicep workout to cause some serious muscle growth. I'm also incorporating various techniques that give gymnasts those massive biceps in this workout. But first, let's look at the standing bicep curl, maybe the most common bicep exercise. As you guys watch me, try to spot the mistakes. If you see them, pause the video and leave a comment below. The first problem with the standing bicep curl is that it mainly challenges the mid portion of the bicep during the concentric phase. Research shows that greater muscle growth occurs when the bicep is challenged at the bottom when it is stretched out. For example, a 2023 study took a group of subjects and split them in half. They had one half do incline bicep curls and the other half do preacher curls. Incline bicep curls primarily focus in the middle portion of your biceps, whereas preacher curls focus on the bottom portion of the biceps when it is fully stretched out. The results indicated that after 9 weeks, the group performing preacher curls experienced a significant increase in muscle thickness in the part of the arm that was most stretched during the exercise. In contrast, the group performing incline bicep curls did not show significant growth in any region. Therefore, the first exercise we're going to add to our workout are preacher curls. But you can get even more growth with preacher curls by avoiding this common mistake, and that is improper positioning that leads to ineffective targeting of the biceps. And how do we fix this problem? All you have to do is adjust the C height that better align with your height and position your arm to ensure proper alignment and muscle engagement. So we've identified one problem in my bicep curl video, but I wonder how many of you were able to identify another problem. The next problem we can identify is that it only took me 20 seconds to complete the set. In the fitness world, we're always being told to do a certain number of reps and sets. But here's the thing. When we're so focused on hitting that predetermined number, we often sacrifice the quality of each rep. The language of muscle is tension. Therefore, maintaining proper tension throughout the movement is important for optimal growth. Let's take a look at this research that highlights the importance of time under tension for muscle growth. This study found that participants who spent a total of 6 seconds per repetition experienced a greater increase in muscle size. 6 seconds can be a lot to start with, so I recommend you start with 4 seconds a rep instead. When you start incorporating time under tension, you'll quickly realize you won't be able to do as many reps and sets as before. But that is a good thing. Your reps will be of much higher quality. And talking about high quality, the next exercise on our list is overhead bicep curls. When I added this exercise into my training, I began seeing noticeable growth in my biceps. This exercise allows you to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because it incorporates time under tension while your bicep muscles are elongated. As wonderful as this exercise sounds, it does have a common problem that limits growth potential. Overhead bicep curls are a harder exercise to do with proper form. And improper form means you aren't fully activating your biceps. To avoid this, ensure that your shoulders are relaxed and not shrugged up toward your ears. Keep your core engaged and maintain a neutral spine. Perform the cable overhead bicep curl in a controlled manner, avoiding any jerky movements, and use a weight that allows you to maintain proper form throughout the whole exercise. So now we have 2 exercises that will begin to grow your biceps. But I would be shortchanging you if we were to stop there, because this next exercise combines the key muscle building elements of both the previous exercises. This exercise is chin-ups, but I have 3 different variations that will be a game changer once you add them to your training. I'll also be offering alternative ways to do them for those that are closer to the beginner level. Now, for my chin-ups, I like to use weights, but don't feel like you have to if you aren't there yet. That is something you can work your way up to. At the start of the video, I also brought up gymnasts having amazing biceps. The reason why gymnasts have some of the most amazing biceps is that they naturally do a lot of chin-ups, and while doing chin-ups, they do a lot of isometric holds and negative reps. And those are the variations of chin-ups I'm talking about. So the first variation we have are just regular chin-ups, but performed correctly for muscle growth. I say correctly because most people rush through the movement and do not fully extend. Now watch closely as I perform them with full extension, ensuring I maintain tension throughout the entire muscle, especially at the bottom when the muscle is stretched. So what I want you to do is focus on doing your chin-ups with full extension at a slower and more controlled pace. The next variation of chin-ups is even harder, and that is isometric chin-ups. But I see this being done wrong all the time as well. In this video, you'll notice that I'm holding the position at the top of the chin-ups. This engages a higher percentage of my back muscles and less of my biceps. Now, to target your biceps more effectively, simply lower yourself onto your arms or at a 90-degree angle. By doing this, you shift the tension to your biceps. You can perform these holds for 10 to 45 seconds, starting with a duration that feels comfortable for you. Now, for our final variation, we have negative rep chin-ups. This is probably the hardest one. As you start descending, I want you to keep a timer in your head. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and so on until you reach 5 or 10 seconds, depending on your current level of fitness. As you get stronger, you can start increasing the time, and you'll also begin to notice growth in your biceps. Earlier in the video, I mentioned alternative ways to perform chin-ups for those finding them too challenging. Now I'll demonstrate these alternatives using an assisted chin-up machine. This method allows you to adjust the assistance level. But with that said, I want you to avoid this common mistake, and that is staying at the same weight or assistance level you started at. You'll never progress by doing this. You can gradually reduce the assistance level each week until you can perform the variations without any assistance, helping you progress at your own pace. And that is what we call progressive overload, a sneak peek into a video coming out soon on this channel.